everyone, my name's Courtney and I want to welcome you to another tarot video for the future forecasting group. So today's target is kind of interesting and I hope you're going to be sticking with me. No idea how this is going to turn out. The remote viewers have been tasked with looking at a person target, a woman named Maria Orsic, which I think I know I definitely had seen a picture of her over the years, but I actually didn't really know much about her. So I did a little bit of cursory research just to kind of know what type of information I should be looking at. And I listened to a really interesting podcast with some folks talking about her. Apparently there's quite a lot of mystery and occult just occult weirdness going on. So I'm actually surprised I don't know more about this person, because I think that the World War II era is one that I find very interesting. And, she kind of gets mixed up with this whole idea of Nazi occultism, things like that. So, I'm looking forward to seeing what we come up with this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to be asking 9 questions. I want to know who or what she is or was. With these kind of historical figures, I think it's always best to assume that they might not have actually, been real to begin with. It could have been a construct. Or she could have been a real person or something like that. So I was like, who or what's she doing? What role or service did she provide? What was the intention? Apparently she was affiliated with the Royal Society. What type of information was she supposed to have been providing? What was her involvement in technology for Germany? What type of technology or advancement might she have channeled for Germany? These 2 questions are specifically coming from the tasking that the remote viewers were asked to look at. So we would definitely want to hit those factors. I wanted to know, where was her information coming from? Where did she go? Because apparently there's some mystery about what happened to her. And then I wanted to know what was her true nature. So very curious to see what's going to happen with this. It's always interesting when I do these people targets, especially these sort of public figures. You never quite know what's going to come up. I was kind of being pulled in a million different directions when it came to deck selection. I thought with the advent of the whole UFO type thing, I don't have a lot of decks that have that flavor, but I do have the art through the Starstream Oracle. This is art done by Cheryl Yambrith Rose. It's sort of like ancient Celts meet ancient aliens. So there's the influences on this deck are very scattered, but it does have a little space element to it. So I thought that would be fun to play around with. I've got the guidebook on that just in case we have to get some additional clarification. It's not a deck that I use a lot. This creator's actually created 2 or 3 different other decks. An art through the eyes of the soul, which is very good, same style. And her Mary Magdalene deck is highly recommended if you like that sort of thing. For a tarot, I was thinking, because we're dealing with the Royal Society, there's all this crazy occult vibe going on, right? So I thought that the Gill Tarot, which does have a lot of occult symbolism, would be a good fit for that. And let's see. I also got pulled because I honestly do think in these kind of stories or these kind of situations where you're dealing with this type of information, you run a heavy risk of there being a lot of deception going on. And so what better to look at deception than the Fallen Angel Oracle, which by Nigel Suckling, and it's the energy related to this is technically demonic, but don't get all oh my god, it's demons. We're going to be looking at mostly the keyword because this does have a lot more of those sort of challenging concepts, which we don't always necessarily get in your average run-of-the-mill deck. I thought some Dixit cards might come in handy. And last minute, I was pulled to the Earthbound Oracle. So we're going to be, that's a tiny little deck. we'll see what comes up with that. I know this is a lot of decks, and as always, we will finish with one of our Art of Life cards. So we'll just sort of tuck that over there. Yeah, I kind of was pulled in a lot of different directions with this. I think the subject matter is very interesting. And like I said, that time period is quite fascinating. So I don't know what we're going to do exactly. I'm going to do like a 9 card. And we're just going to see what comes up. I'm actually quite surprised. I think I've seen her picture floating around. But I didn't really know much about. I haven't studied a lot of the Third Reich occult stuff. I know it's just there's a lot of information on that topic. So Maria Orsic, what do we need to know about her? Was she real? Was she really talking to aliens? Channeling the plans for UFOs? Inquiring minds want to know. So, all right. Maria Orsic. What were their intentions? What kind of work was she doing? Who was she? What was her true nature? And frankly, where the heck did she go? Or was she just a construct? And hopefully, with enough cards, we can get some interesting information. Yeah, I was having such a hard time figuring out, like, getting sort of pulled in a bunch of different directions as far as decks. I wanted to capture a little bit of the theme. But I don't tend to favor a lot of the like Kabbalistically occult decks that are. Whoop, we have a jumper. Marbus, number 3 with Discovery. Got a lion there. That's interesting. Just sort of put that over there for right now. So, Discovery, that's interesting. What was I saying? Oh yeah, back to occult decks. I don't really like a lot of the super heavy occult symbolism decks, especially if they start layering a bunch of astrology stuff on there and things like that. It makes it very difficult for me to read. My brain does not like a lot of that symbol stuff. I think we have, oh, that is so random. The 5 of Swords. This is from a totally different deck that I'm not even using today, and I've used this deck recently. It's the So Below deck from Los Garabaos, so that is super random how that's showing up. And this is a card of sort of winning and lording it over everybody. That's weird. I thought I saw something in there that was like, you know, not supposed to be there. We shall see. All right, Maria Orsic. Show me what we need to know about this lady. And one final thing to shuffle. I know the shuffling part is always so damn boring. You guys should just fast forward through it till you see me putting the cards down. Okay. So this has got some really interesting sort of energetic keywords on it. I thought maybe we might get something from that. And who knows, it might be too many cards, but we shall see. Things just kept catching my eye. I was like, ooh, that might work. Ooh, that might work. You know, so. It's like ADD tarot reader today. All right. Okay, let's get cracking. dice here. Let's see, what should we do first? So we've got 9, so we're gonna see if everything will fit. We might have to shuffle some things around. I love the glare. You get this little halo effect from, there's a overhead sort of ring light that's temporary additional lighting. Okay. Lots to see. And this might be too much, but you know, who knows? It's a big subject. There seems to be like a lot of mythology, and you know, it's one of those things where we don't really know a whole lot. All right. Let's see what we've got. So the first question I wanted to know is, who or what was she? All right. Okay. This might take a while because we got a lot to do here. So the card here is obstacles being removed from your path. The problem with these shiny cards, no matter what you do lighting wise, they're going to glare. So we've got 2 little elephants and little spaceships floating around up here. And there's a keyword on here, Vimana vision, which I like the whole, like, so the idea of a vision, right? This is a woman who is supposedly channeling and providing information. So providing information, vision on obstacles being removed from your path. We've got 7 of Wands here, 7 of Fire and Valor, with this very strong female wide stance, like powerful pose, right? Of this strength, which I think you could definitely say is a concept that was promoted during this particular time frame with these particular organizations. That idea of valor, strength, Brill, you know, would be definitely be coming through. So we've got Murmur with history, number 40 here. We've got ceremony. So we've got these 2 pillars, right? The 2 towers, the 2 arcs, the left, the right pillars. We see this imagery in Freemasonry, things like that. And we've got the sun moving up from the center point of the different candles. And then we have this ballerina dancing on the surface of the water. So there's this element of being able to manipulate the energies of the elements. That is a whole lot of stuff. So when I think about history, murmur, when I think about the word murmur, like there's this, what's murmuring? It's like the little voice, right? We've got this element of vision. With number 40, with history. History implies a long line of things, your past, your connection to your ancestors, things that have come before. There definitely is this focus on strength and fire and passion, valor, you know, one of the virtues, bravery, things of that sort. And being able to overcome some type of obstacle. We've got this older elephant, you know, the young elephant here. So there's this guiding among the path, right, of providing information, teaching, and nurturing. But there's also this element with ceremony here. Ceremony is often a performance. It's a ritual. So there is definitely a ritualistic element going on here. And with this, the sort of the shining, when you've got an element of somebody walking on water, right? There's definitely you know, connotations to Jesus being able to manipulate the elements in that regard. And the way she's a dancer, so she's performing and posing with arms upstretched. So I think that's very interesting. We're gonna keep trugging along and see, but this doesn't, I mean, we're not getting like, oh my God, she's a fraud and deception. But there is a ceremonial aspect, something that ties into some ancient connection. We've got this strength. The 7 is really about a stand your ground, hold your ground against an onslaught. So here we've got these 3 arrows are kind of flying at her, and she's able to withstand that. And nurturing and sort of, you know, removing some type of obstacle for a younger being. Interesting. I might fumble around on this one. These people ones are always a bit of a challenge, you know. All right, what role did she, or service was she there to provide?